Gentlemen, I am 25 years old and I have killed 309 fascist occupants by now. Don't you think, gentlemen, that you've been hiding behind my back for too long? These were the confident words of Lyudmila Pavlichenko, the greatest war woman of the Second World War. Popularly known as Lady Death, she single-handedly caused dismay to Hitler's National Army. Welcome to our YouTube channel. On the deadliest woman during the Second World War, today we'll look at someone the dry bones of the Nazi soldiers would never forget. Lyudmila Pavlichenko, Lady Death. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to be part of our family. Lyudmila Pavlichenko was born in 1916. She was from Belyazerkov of the Soviet Empire, which is in today's Ukraine. As a child, she described herself as a tomboy, as she loved getting into competitions with the boys. She enjoyed proving that a girl could be exactly as good as a boy. This is what led to her involvement in shooting. She heard a boy brag about his marksman prowess, and that was where her interest grew from in the art. "That was enough to send me running to the range," wrote Pavlichenko in one of her memoirs. She and her family relocated to Kiev, where she enrolled in sharpshooting classes. From this, she got her Voroshilov sharpshooter badge, which was a kind of marksman certificate. Then, she got herself a job in a local arms plant, where she worked as a grinder in the Kiev arsenal factory. In 1937, she attended the University of Kiev. Lyudmila was interested in history, and she wanted to be a teacher, so that was her focus in school. However, she didn't abandon her marksmanship, and kept taking courses in a sniper school. The famous failure of the Wehrmacht's invasion of the Soviets can be attributed to resilient soldiers of the likes of Pavlichenko. It was June 1941. The World War was reaching its climax and casualties were growing. That was when Hitler decided to carry out Operation Barbarossa, where he attempted to invade the Soviet Union with his army. Recruitment was held at Odessa, and 25-year-old Pavlichenko was among the first round of recruited soldiers. The officer tried to talk her into picking another profession, like nursing, but she was insistent and allowed into the force as a sniper after they saw her Voroshilov certificate. She became part of the 2,000 recruited female snipers, and among the 500 that ended the war alive. At that time, she'd already been divorced from a marriage with Alexei and had a son, Rastislav. Pavlichenko's recruitment as a sniper was the luckiest day for the Soviets during World War II. She later went on to become one of the deadliest killers, who did it with a smile on her face. However, she had to make a mark to show her capabilities, and 2 unfortunate Romanian soldiers were the epilogue of her fearsome records. Although Pavlichenko was part of the infantry and had a combat role, due to weapon shortages, she was not given any rifles, but just a frag grenade. She wrote in her memoir that it was very frustrating to have to observe the course of battle with just a single grenade in one's hand. Fortunately, on August 8, 1941, one of the soldiers was badly injured and could not handle a weapon any longer. She took his Mauser Nagant Model 1891 bolt-action rifle and used it to start her story. 2 Romanian soldiers were close to Soviet war territory, about 200 yards in her radar. She took her order and took her shots, which were nothing other than a success. This gained approval from her comrades, regarding her as one of them. She claimed those kills felt like a baptism of fire, but they were not part of her 309 tallies, as she regarded them as mere trial shots. Pavlichenko soon became a master of the art and was a menace to the German troops. She would leave her camp base early in the morning and come back late in the evening. She would spend all of her time getting into advanced positions and striking enemy targets, regardless of how uncomfortable it was. She once wrote, "You need great self-control, willpower, and endurance to lie 15 hours at a stretch without moving. The slightest twitch may mean death." She often got engaged in duels and had one last for 3 days. No doubt of who came out alive, as she said her enemy made one move too many at the end, and joined the record of the 36 snipers that fell to her gun. Lyudmila got promoted twice while she was in the army. She was made a senior sergeant after reaching 100 kills and a lieutenant when she clocked 200. The Romanian and German soldiers took hold of Odessa, so the Red Army moved to Sevastopol, where Lyudmila spent 8 months defending the city and training other young snipers. The Germans were fed up with her terror, and they attempted to bribe her. "Lyudmila Pavlichenko, come over to us. We'll give you lots of chocolate and make you a German officer." But it did not work on a woman of her caliber. They got annoyed and went on the offensive by threatening her life. "If we catch you, we will tear you, Lyudmila, into 309 pieces and scatter them to the winds." The Lady Death was not scared a bit, and rather excited that they accurately do her tally. Her war story was not completely a happy one, as the man she remarried died in her arms. In June 1942, she was also hit by a mortar shrapnel in the face, which had her seriously injured. The Soviet High Command felt she was too instrumental and evacuated her from the warfront. This was where her new mission began in the Western world, most notably the USA. Months after her recovery, she was given a new role to play for the Red Army. Stalin had sent her to go and make allies in the Western world to help them against the Germans. She toured the USA, Canada, and Great Britain. She became the first Soviet citizen to be welcomed to the White House, and she became good friends with then First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. What was very surprising was the kind of reception she received from the American press. The press in America didn't care about Lyudmila's military attainments. They were more concerned about the way she was dressed. They made fun of her long skirts, which they claimed made her look fat, and the way she didn't wear makeup. The papers even referred to her as the girl sniper. Nevertheless, she remained the solid soldier that she was and asked the media, who had time to think of her shiny nose when there's a battle going on? What she was most known for was her statement in Chicago during a rally. "Gentlemen, I am 25 years old, and I have killed 309 fascist occupants by now. Don't you think, gentlemen, that you have been hiding behind my back for too long?" These words sunk into the hearts of the American crowd she spoke to and had them muted. Soon after, they replied with roars of support and agreement. She mostly spoke about her home country and how there was racial and gender equality among them. She was an inspiration to most Americans and had a song composed by Woody Guthrie about her. It was titled Miss Pavlichenko. After the war, Lyudmila retired back home and finished her education at the University of Kiev. On her arrival, she received the Order of Lenin twice. In 1957, Eleanor Roosevelt came to visit her friend Lyudmila in Moscow, but they were guarded due to the raving Cold War. They later escaped the eyes of those in charge and went to have fun like in the old times. Lyudmila died at age 58 in 1974 due to depression and chronic alcoholism. She remains a hero in Russia today and has her name immortalized. That's the end of our video. Remember to leave a like and subscribe, and see you next time.